Ooh, that's fun. Thank you, everyone, for waiting, and welcome to Third House 2025. Sorry about the delay. We were waiting for LCB to finish drafting, but I think we're all ready to go. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Riley Snyder. I'm one of the co-editors at the Nevada Independent, and this is actually my fifth Third House, so I've been here for 10 years. And unfortunately for all of you, they don't have term limits for reporters yet, so you're stuck with me for a while. There's been a lot of changes to this building over the last decade, but one thing has remained the same, that this is the most stressful time for all of you who work here and serve here. And in this time, it's nice that we all get a chance to take a break and enjoy some of our goofy skits that satirize you, our esteemed Nevada Legislature. So sit back, relax, and get ready to laugh or probably groan. It's Third House 2025. So we're going to start off with a look at a very panicked Senate finance meeting. Let's listen in.
Can you hear me now? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, sometimes you gotta give it some time. We're all on NV Leg time. All right, can you hear me? Excellent. We love to see that. Thank you, thank you. We really appreciate our staff during these technical difficulties, so thank you, staff. So good evening. I am Chair Marilyn Dondero-Loop, and welcome to the late night meeting of the Senate Finance Committee. We're here tonight to consider ways to cut the budget. I'm sure you saw how badly the Economic Forum screwed us again. Maybe they'll buy us dinner first next time. We're doing things a little differently today. So if you have any ideas on how to save money, come on up. Oh, looks like we have Senator Lori Rogich up first.
Thank you, Madam Chair. After decades of research into the illicit cannabis market, I've concocted an innovative plan to save the state money. Replace all cannabis compliance board staff with carefully trained culinary union housekeepers. Not only will these hard-working men and women stop at nothing to root out the lettuce that has truly been curated by the devil, but they'll also be much cheaper than those overpaid state workers.
I'll take it under advisement with fiscal staff, but this certainly sounds like you paying culinary back for endorsing you.
That is absolutely not the case, Senator, and if it doesn't work out, you can say it was Sig's idea.
Very well. Up next is Assemblymember Erica Mosca.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As a longtime educator, I understand that there are many problems plaguing our education system, but something that is not an issue is the adequate pay for Clark County School Board trustees, who I believe are paid as much as deserved for the quality of their work. Therefore, I'm proposing we pay our Clark County commissioners the same amount as the CCSD trustees. That should save us thousands of dollars.
Thank you, Assemblymember Mosca. I'd love to get away with paying those fat cats in the Clark County Government Center just $750 a month, but you do know we'd be running the risk of getting another Katie Williams in office if we cut too many corners. Up next is Senator Jeff Stone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. While I'm disappointed to see the progress of the bill to prohibit book banning in Nevada, I'm proud to announce another way to save money. Public school books have become weapons to indoctrinate our youth with the woke, transgender, WNBA radical liberal agenda. So I am offering to give all public schools in the state a copy of my own book, The American Dream in Peril, The True Story, A Story of Success and Concern for the Future, free of charge. The book includes chapters such as My Serious Disabilities and Challengers to Biden, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Senator Joe Manchin, and Gavin Newsom. I have study guides, author Q&As, book club questions, and so many copies available.
Thank you, Senator Stone. As an educator and a former textbook saleswoman myself, I'm concerned about this being the only book in schools. But I'm willing to change my mind if you're able to correct the spelling of Barack Obama's name in your book. It's Barack, not Barack Obama.
Thank you, Madam Chair, but have you considered that his
that's
long-form
enough,
birth certificate...
Senator. That's plenty. We're going to hear from Assemblymember Melissa Hardy next.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Food costs are running rampant in the state, and I would like to extend an offer to provide 2-day-old Porta subs, party trays to all school cafeterias at a slightly discounted price.
I apologize, Assemblymember Hardy, but I'm more of a Quiznos gal myself. And I wouldn't subject our children to any sandwich that hasn't been toasted first. Up next is Assemblymember Howard Watts.
Thank you, Madam Chair. After my pay commission constitutional amendment died, I am willing to amend it so that we legislators have to pay a monthly fee to continue serving in this body. This could raise thousands of dollars, and cutting legislator pay would look great on Nicole's mailers in 2026. Attorney General, here we go. It's a win-win for all around.
I apologize, Assemblymember Watts, but I think that would most likely exclude many of our impoverished teachers in this building from serving in the legislature. But come to think of it, teachers being legislators strikes me as a wildly inappropriate breach of the separation of powers doctrine, and booting them is probably long overdue. Let's put some thought into it. Oh, next up we have Assemblymember Elaine Marzola.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I happen to know that since us trial lawyers struck that deal with Uber over the attorney fee caps, we'll continue to score some astronomical payouts on personal injury cases, and insurance rates are headed through the roof. Get ready for a huge windfall on that insurance premium tax.
I do love the sound of higher insurance premiums. Thanks for your service, Assemblymember. I know you trial lawyers aren't always just looking to cash out so you can buy some new Louboutins and Maseratis for yourselves. You're suing the pants off people for a purpose. And that purpose is our general fund. Next up is Assemblymember Brittany Miller.
I, Brittany Miller, do solemnly swear that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the United States and the Constitution and government of the state of Nevada
what
against
on
all
earth
enemies.
are you doing?
Well, Madam Chair, I have realized that there were only 600 YouTube views when I repeated my oath of office during a hearing on the January 6th attack, and I think it's more important to make everyone listen to the oath that they took 3 months ago than come up with ways to save money. And to that, I will bear truth, allegiance, and loyalty to the same any ordinance, resolution, or law of any state, notwithstanding, and that I will well and faithfully perform of all the duties of the office of this legislator on which I am about to enter. So help me God.
Assemblymember, your sense of duty is inspiring. Has anyone ever told you you'd make an excellent Inspector General?
No, ma'am, but I'm honored by your comments.
Anything to get her off judiciary. And finally, we have my sister from another mister, my compadre from the Assembly, Danielle Monroe Marino.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know that this session I introduced a bill to strengthen child labor protections in Nevada. But upon hearing from the passionate children who want nothing more to roll up their sleeves and work 80-hour weeks, which, as my esteemed colleague Danielle Gallant said, would build character, I am proposing we put our kids to work. We can pay them in stickers and Paw Patrol coloring books, so this could be cheap labor that we would use to free up money for proposals that matter most, massive handouts to the film tax industry.
I have to say, as a fellow grandmother and member of the Badass Grannies Caucus, I am somewhat alarmed by sending children back to the mines. But I am willing to give it some thought if you decide to drop your film tax credit proposal.
Apologies, but no can do. As fiscal leader in this building, my job is to create jobs. And my bill does just that. Like I always say, if you want to make $1, you need to spend at least $1.02.
Very well. It appears that we've reached an impasse. I have to say, everyone, I'm quite disappointed by the suggestions brought by this body today. It seems that we have no option but to exhaust the entirety of a rainy day fund. A storm is a brewing.
Wait. Governor Joe Lombardo for the record. Apologies for my delay. I was in the middle of catching radical liberals paying for their protesters. About the rainy day fund.
I'm listening.
Well, a couple months ago, I was thinking the state was in a pretty good spot economically. And after a few brewskis at the Encore, I was feeling lucky at the roulette table. And one thing led to another.
Please don't tell me you bet the entire rainy day fund on the red.
I bet the entire rainy day fund on red.
Well, Joe, at least we'll get 6.75% of it back. Maybe CCA was right. We should have raised the gaming tax after all.
And now, time for some news briefs.
Following the guidance of RFK Jr., Senator Robin Titus announced a solution to the universal school lunch conundrum: roadkill.
It can work.
The bill will direct drivers who kill animals on the road to deliver the meat to the nearest school, where it will be processed and turned into nutritional meals for students. In a press conference, Titus said RFK is right that we need to get away from processed foods. The only processing happening here is under the wheels of an 18-wheeler.
Assemblymember Shea Backus is reportedly having a difficult time getting back into the graces of the Knights of Columbus after sponsoring an Indigenous Peoples Day bill. Backus was recently turned away from a fish fry by a Grand Knight, angry that the new observance would take place instead of a Columbus Day, and was later blacklisted after attempting entry into a bingo night. At press time, she was seen trying to down a dozen cannoli in an attempt to prove that she still cares about Italian-American heritage.
Lieutenant Governor Stavros Anthony is in hot water with lawmakers after he was found outside of the Carson High Gym demanding genital examinations before the biannual Donkeys versus Elephants basketball game. Though the game is traditionally co-ed, Anthony said he wanted to defend innocent freshmen lawmakers and avoid any sneaky business from Democrats who serve as Washington Generals-esque foil to the Republicans. Undeterred, Anthony told reporters that his office would be launching another pointless task force to investigate the issue.
We regret to inform you that this broadcast detailing Governor Joe Lombardo's plans to steal Senator Julie Pazina's graduate medical education bill has been censored by the Legislative Council Bureau for containing copyrighted material that may lead to litigation. The full copy of the broadcast may be viewed by holding your breath and wishing real hard, or by contacting library at 775-684-6827, but who's going to do that?
Senator Dina Neal has reportedly had a change of heart about AI after ChatGPT gave her surprisingly good ideas on bills to screw the city of North Las Vegas. Generative AI drafted a homeless Bill of Rights to camp in Craig Ranch Regional Park and a measure to suspend the city's charter for the next 100 years. At press time, she was seen using AI to refine the language of her bill to relocate City Hall into a suspiciously uneven parcel of land in Windsor Park.
Assemblymember Selena LaRue Hatch has been stripped of all her committee assignments and after arriving precisely 1 hour late to each one of them. Sources say the reprimand wasn't because she was pushing progressive bills, but that she counted her daylight saving time bill before it hatched. LaRue Hatch has taken the death of her bill in stride. Next session, she says she'll bring a bill to replace terrestrial timekeeping entries with star dates. Expect the bill on April 5th, 2027, first contact day.
In an attempt to get Governor Joe Lombardo to sign his bill criminalizing fake electors, Senator Skip Daly has once again amended the penalty. This time, anyone convicted of signing fake Electoral College certificates must attend a 3-hour class during which Senator James Orenshaw earnestly lectures them about civics.
Assembly Speaker Steve Yeager is leading the charge to cut down on a stubbornly high vacancy rate by hiring middle schoolers as state workers. Yeager said the preteens' innovative ideas and willingness to work for low pay outweighed concerns that their Roblox addictions would distract them from their jobs as correctional officers and unemployment call center staffers. The proposal was quickly pulled after Senator Fabian Donate was accidentally hired by the initiative. I don't see him. I don't
see him. Festivities for Nevada's newly created Muslim American Heritage Month were capped off with Republican Assemblymember Greg Koenig converting to Islam. His conversion comes on the heels of him casting the lone Republican vote for creating the month of observance. The ceremony took place in the newly created Carson City Legislative Mosque.
Taking inspiration from the hit Netflix series, legislative leaders have created a social experiment to see if lawmakers looking for cross-party support on their bills can find a match, all before seeing the other person. Welcome to Love is Bipartisan. With your hosts, Ira and Alexis Hansen.
I'm so excited for this season. I know our love story, me, a Republican, and you, crazy, is proof that bipartisanship can blossom no matter the circumstances if you can get past first impressions.
That's right, Alexis. Although you may want to revisit that definition of crazy after you meet some of the other Hansons. But let's meet our first couple.
So, my name is Rochelle Wynn, and I came on the show because I'm feeling pretty blue these days. I almost lost my race over my vote to end Culinary's daily room cleaning mandate, but I had to stand up for the little guy, our integrated casino resorts. I know how it looks. Folks say the resorts want to make bigger profits by cutting back on cleaning, but I see things differently. When you spend $250 a night on a strip room, you want to feel right at home, and that includes an unmade bed, the toothpaste globs in the sink, and body hair all over the bathroom floor.
I'm John Steinbeck, and you're really speaking my language now, Rochelle. When I think of the vulnerable in our society, I think of three main categories: the elderly, small children, and integrated casino resorts. That's why I sponsored the bill to impose harsher penalties on crimes committed at a casino resort. I mean, crime at a school is bad, crime at a church is bad, but there truly is a special place in hell for criminals doing their thing near the craps tables.
It's crazy, John. I've only known you for a few minutes, but I'm starting to feel there's some real policy chemistry here. Would you be my co-sponsor?
You betcha.
Well, things are really taking off in that pod. Let's move on to our next potential couple, Assembly members Danielle Gallant and Sandra Hadegi. Danielle?
I have to say, I was pretty down in the dumps the past 2 years as the only member to shoot the ball in the wrong hoop at last session's Donkeys versus Elephants basketball game. I guess that along with the radical left not telling the public about the true nature of the abortion ballot question, they also don't tell you that you can only score it in one basket. I mean, the basket's small enough as it is. Am I right, Sandra?
Rest assured, my friend, you are not alone anymore. I had the same thing happen to me just a few weeks ago. But looking back, I think that the Nevada realtors told me 2 years ago that you can't score in the other basket. They obviously didn't remind me this year for reasons.
Gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. But you know what they say, everything happens for a reason, Sandra. How would you feel about being a founding member of the Wrong Way Caucus? We could stop everyone from being as embarrassed as we were.
Wow, now that you say it, this is exactly why I wanted to run for office in the first place, to shield legislators from any kind of accountability or transparency. Thanks, friend.
Wow, I'm not going to want to interrupt any of that. Next up is an unlikely duo, Assembly Members Erica Mosca and Toby Urich. Please go ahead, Assembly Member Urich.
Thank you, Senator Hansen, and thank you especially for using my rightful title of Assembly Member Urich. You know, some people might have been surprised to see my vote in support of AB 588, brought to you by my good pal, Assembly Member Ms. Mosca, but I can assure you that those who know me were not surprised at all. For too long, I have witnessed the patriarchy wreak havoc on Nevada. And this proposal is one step in the right direction to ensure that we have the past leave the past behind us. In fact, I'm excited to introduce an emergency measure that would get rid of the patriarchy in my beloved law enforcement career, prohibiting police officers from using the word man, brother, and brotherhood. We're a siblinghood, not a brotherhood.
And I am proud to be a co-sponsor of that legislation. In fact, I would have supported any change to the Assembly member name, other than the one that Assemblymember Dickman proposed during my bill hearing last week, that we call people Madam Assemblyman.
Yeah, that was quite an idea. I don't know what Assemblywoman Dickman was saying. Oh, shit, Assembly Member Dickman.
Alrighty then. Up next, Assemblymember Torres Fawcett and Senator Buck.
So, the name's Carrie Buck. I used to be on top of the world as head of Pinecrest Academies, and the minute I got in the legislature, I hit this Democratic buzzsaw and can't get a single one of my ideas passed. Literally, I'm the award-winning D-O-K-T-E-R Carrie Buck. And I'm a complete failure on paper in the legislature. I have to get something passed this session, but I'm having trouble finding any Democrats who align with my thinking that traditional public schools are failing our children and charter school opponents are complete worthless scum.
Well, Selena Torres Fawcett here. I know my caucus likes to be sadistic jerks to charter schools and everyone in them, but as a charter school director and a Democrat, I feel that I've really seen the light on the school choice movement. And in fact, I'm not out of the closet on this one yet, but by the time the 50th cute kid wearing a private school uniform was trotted out during Lombardo's bill hearing, I think I was finally convinced that the greatest hope Nevada has for change is opportunity scholarships.
So does this mean you'll co-sponsor my bill to do what Lombardo couldn't in 2023, increase the number of opportunity scholarships by the power of 3 every biennium, and raise the eligibility threshold to 1,500% of the poverty line?
I think together this harebrained idea just might work. Wait, Carrie, is that a gun?
Duh, I was about to go to an election site.
And for our last guest, wait a minute, Assembly Member Heather Golding?
I had to do the yield, the Idaho stop yield. It's not legal yet, but we're working on it. Before we need to start talking, sorry, I'm a little out of breath. We need to learn the facts about a little thing called syphilis. All right, so Carson City is a dirty, dirty city. And if any of these people want to connect beyond co-sponsoring a bill, they need to know all about the birds and the bees. Fact, syphilis is a commonly sexually transmitted infection that can be cured. Fact, people who are sexually active can get syphilis. All right, I'll keep going. Thank you for the time.
Of course.
Fact, without treatment, syphilis can spread to the brain and nervous system, the eye, or the ear, but I think most of the people in this building are already blind, deaf, and dumb. Sorry, Robin.
I'm sorry, Assembly Member Golding. I'm sorry, but I don't remember opting into that little sex ed lesson. Next up, we have Speaker Yeager and Assembly Member P.K. O'Neill.
Look, Steve, I'm not in leadership anymore, but I thought we had something special. That magical summer in Ireland. whispering sweet nothings about state-level trade policy as we looked out over the Emerald Isle. But this session, I feel like the magic is gone. Are you seeing someone else?
Oh, PK, the election bill with Hafen was a one-night sponsorship. It didn't mean anything. You know how passionate I am about restoring the old state prison. But we need to talk about us. If I run for another office, how can I explain what we have to a Democratic primary voter? Those people are out for GOP blood.
Oh, Steve, they say true love is letting go. I wish I knew how to quit you. Oh, Stevie boy, the pipes are cold.
Moving on, our final prospective couple of the evening. Oh my gosh. Moving on, Ken Gray and Skip Daly.
So, my name's Ken Gray, and I came on this show hoping that I could find someone to help me build on the amazing success we've had with the Donald Trump Justice Complex in Yerington. I'm ready for the Donald Trump Parkway, the Donald Trump Detention Center, the Donald Trump Wastewater Treatment Plant. I guess I've just lost hope that I can find a Democrat who doesn't blindly hate our supreme leader.
Well, the name's Skip Daly, and while I do believe being a fake elector for Donald Trump should carry a sentence of 15 to life, I'm a pragmatist. I know 2/3 of the guys on my crew voted for the guy, and I've never seen an infrastructure project I don't like so long as it's got a rock-solid PLA and prevailing wage requirements.
Oh, Skip, will you be my co-sponsor? It would mean so much to the good folks of Dayton if I could actually get something done here in Carson.
Don't worry, brother. How many golden escalators are we going to need?
And now, time for some more dispatches from Carson City.
Senator Angie Taylor has become persona non grata amongst her legislative colleagues after proposing an amendment to her bill banning the use of cell phones in schools to also apply to the legislative chambers. Taylor said the only way to get those TikTok-addicted, snot-nosed high schoolers to follow the school is to show them that adults, too, can get their work done without staring at a screen for 9 hours a day. Republican lawmakers say they plan to oppose the bill as playing Candy Crush and posting Trump memes account for, and posting Trump memes, and posting Trump memes account for 90% of their time on the floor.
Lawmakers have become increasingly concerned with the behavior of freshman Assemblymember Erica Roth, who is not only wearing her large trademark cowboy hat in committee hearings, but now insists that her colleagues refer to her as Assembly Partner. While many lawmakers have been put off by her replacing all her hellos with howdies, one Assembly Partner is breathing a sigh of relief, and that is Joe Dahlia, who has been privately telling people that Roth's antics have given him a glide path to the speakership down the line. And yes, they are both freshmen.
Animal rights activists were outraged upon learning that the latest daily specials in the Legislative Cafe were the remnants of our dear Reba and Cindy Lou. Almost as outraged as the people behind the many Reba's Law Twitter accounts. But they were less angry that the daily specials also included platters full of Assemblymember Joe Dahlia's earwax for the right price of $10. That anger was reserved for the group of ENTs who were threatened higher insurance premiums for anyone who ordered the earwax because they were bringing it upon themselves.
Lawmakers were shocked on Tuesday to learn that a giant corporate landlord had purchased the legislative building and taped an eviction notice to the front doors. Assemblymember Venetia Considine vowed to fight the order in court, but warned that even if successful, the state would have to tap the rainy day fund to pay the surprise junk fees. In the meantime, lawmakers were considering meeting at a nearby Comma Coffee once Senator Ira Hansen traps all the rodents. Too soon?
Assemblymember Sandra Hadeghi has been working so long and so hard on her film tax credit bill that some of her colleagues worry she's become too enmeshed in the cutthroat world of Hollywood. Earlier this week, she was overheard telling Assemblymember Selena Torres Fawcett that after her committee no vote on the film bill, "You'll never work in this town again."
Senator Roberta Lang has further amended her fiscally unsound film tax credit bill in an attempt to garner a wider base of support. An earlier amendment to the bill called for a UNLV-linked nonprofit research center to study creative technologies such as AI and video games. But it's been expanded now to also seek out extraterrestrial life, broker the Israel-Palestine conflict, and cure AIDS. Some colleagues have told her to just give it a rest, but she did get some early support from Assemblymember Ruben De Silva, who said that as a member of the Clark County Educational Association, he was always down for a convoluted trickle-down scheme that, if you really stretch the imagination, can be said to support education. Efforts by the Trump administration to round up illegal immigrants in northern Nevada took a dark turn after federal immigration agents took an Assemblymember Haiti Kasama. Kasama later claimed in immigration court that her parents had always told her she was born in the US, not Norway. These arguments held little sway with a judge who immediately put her on a flight back to Oslo. Assemblymember Edgar Flores promised to represent Kasama in court, but only after launching his primary challenge against Dina Titus, whom he plans to ask the administration to deport back to Georgia.
Assemblymember Brittany Miller was removed as chair of the Assembly Judiciary Committee with just days to go into the session. When asked why, Speaker Steve Yeager said seriously, she was replaced by Judge Michelle Fiore, who has a more experience than Miller with legal matters on both sides of the bench. Latino Legislative Caucus leader Cecilia Gonzalez has introduced an amendment to the street vendor bill allowing them to sell breast milk. As grocery prices continue to skyrocket, breast milk promises to be more affordable for working class families, Gonzalez said, and for them to make some extra cash on the side.
Unbeknownst to the Nevada legislature, Assemblymember P.K. O'Neill was digging in his yard one day and forgot to dial 811 and accidentally severed a fiber internet cable that was the building's only internet source. The question, what to do? Let's tune into a leadership meeting.
As Speaker of the Assembly, I say we must keep the building running. There's so much to do, and we wasted all of our free time in the first half of the session on snow days. What do you think, Senate Majority Leader Cannizzaro?
You know, Speaker, I don't always agree with your chamber, which, let's face it, needs to learn to vote as a cohesive unit, but I don't see any harm in letting committee chairs take the reins. Besides, there's no media up here, so can't do any harm.
My thoughts exactly. First up on the agenda is the Assembly growth and infrastructure.
Meanwhile, in room 4100...
Skip. Now's the time.
You sure, Max?
Yeah, I'm sure, Skip. It's audio only. They won't see us on the live stream. Plus, look what I found in one of those state-subsidized school gardens.
Shrooms in the legislature. I never thought I'd see the day, Max.
Yeah, Skip. Rules are a little looser in these charter school gardens. Anyway, I'll go get Dahlia and Orenshaw. Those rebels are always down for a good time.
I don't know, Skip. I'm feeling pretty nervous.
Oh. Here you go, James.
It's kosher, right, Max?
Hey, as I told This Is Reno during last month's rally, don't be fucking assholes like Lombardo.
Okay, I guess I'll do it.
Hello, everyone. It's Assemblymember Howard Watts, and welcome to Growth and Infrastructure. Before we start, I want to say thank you to the staff for working so hard during a time when we don't have access to any of the exhibits we need to conduct our business. Wait, that's every day. Thanks again, LCB. First up on the agenda is Assemblymember Rich DeLong.
You know, Chair Watts, I know you millennials are all about your growth and infrastructure in this committee, all about electricity and light bulbs and microwaves, but I'm a geologist, and if there's anything I've learned from being around since the Triassic period, it's that you need to be like the minerals and slow down.
I hear you, Rich. I think we can all follow your example. Just take time to stop and smell the rocks. But I'm hitting up against second committee passage deadline, and the best I can do is bog everything down with indecipherable conceptual amendments to gum up things in the legal division.
Thanks, Chair Watts. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I'll go mock up my amendment as a series of petroglyphs on the committee wall. Can I offer you a piece of quartz in these trying times?
You always know the right mineral to say. Thanks, Rich. Assemblymember Dickman?
That's Assemblywoman to you, Chair. I know my feminine energies may be a bit much for this body these days, but I'm not about to squelch my inner goddess just to conform with the joint standing rules.
As you wish, Ms. Dickman. I will abide by whatever terms the members want to write on pink tape outside their offices. But you had a suggestion for our committee?
Yes, I'd like to use this time to play a few tunes for the committee on my harp to calm your troubled, unplugged souls.
Whoa, I'll let you get a few lines, but it better not be therapeutic. I don't think you've put in 1,400 hours yet, and an unlicensed musical therapist can do some serious damage.
On second thought, I'll take my harp over to the Department of Business and Industry, where they actually appreciate the labors of the unlicensed and uncertified. And Christopher Sanchez may need my services more than anyone else in this town after what they did to his boards and commissions bill.
You're doing the Lord's work, Jill. He knew not what he was doing when he provoked the true puppet masters of this building, occupational licensing boards. Moving on, and I didn't see you on the agenda, Senator Orenshaw, but given that the internet isn't working and all our electronic information is scattered, welcome to the committee. How can I help you today?
There once was this Senator James whose bills all went up in flames. So self-driving trucks are running amok, and the Teamsters are cursing your names.
I'm so sorry about that bill, Senator Orenshaw. I can't tell you what happened. It just didn't have the votes. But there's always a future session.
I talk in rhythmic delight, with verses from morning to night. No sentence is straight, just rhyme-fueled fate. It's limericks or silence outright.
Oh, God. I think he's drunk on poetry again. Senator Orenshaw, are you okay? Did you break into your wife's stash of CCB confiscated cannabis again?
In Nevada's Grand Marble Estate, he munched shrooms and debated his fate. He howled at the dome, declared it his home, and danced with the laws he'd create.
Oh, no, I think it's something harder than cannabis. Isn't he on that psychedelics working group? We'll have to gavel out for a while I sort this out. We have no empirical research on how these mushrooms actually affect people. Senator Orenshaw, why don't you come with me and we can figure it out.
And we go back to room 4100 with Assemblymember Max Carter.
All right, so let me get this straight, Skip. You all want to ban all non-union jobs in Nevada.
Yes, Max, make it a felony. Stick it to the scabs. I think I can get leaderships to let me bypass all committee votes. Gonna vote on it on the floor in a few.
I love it, Skip. Where do you come up with these great ideas?
The power of the shrooms, my friend. Improves mental health and takes the legislating to a whole nother dimension.
All right. Hey, Dahlia, how you doing over there?
I don't know.
Well, you're not smiling anymore, and that never happens. Do you want a donut or something?
Ooh, a donut?
We got grape, maple,
And
something that might be your favorite.
Earwax?
Take your pick.
Dr. Rebecca Edgeworth here. What is going on?
Oh, come on, Rebecca. I told you, shrooms are safe no matter what you doctors say.
Hey, Max. I'm on your side. I'm a co-sponsor of your alternate therapies pilot program. I teach at Toro University, for goodness sake. We train osteopaths and do things a little bit different. But when I see an innocent, bright-eyed young man like Joe Dahlia foaming at the mouth in front of the donut wall and ranting about special courts for businesses, I have to report you. I'm not kidding here. I'm calling in Rochelle, Mama Mushroom, the forerunner of fungi, the sultan of psychedelics. She'll know what to do. Oh, hi, Rochelle. Any advice for the freshman who took one too many shrooms?
Look, I'm sorry, Rebecca. I know I got us into this mess when I proposed the magic mushrooms bill in 2023, but we still know next to nothing about psychedelics. And with our nurse shortage and no internet to connect to some telemedicine doctor out of state, we really can't help him. I think we just have to wait this out.
Hello, this is Kevin Powers. We've managed to fix the internet, and everything should be coming on soon. In the meantime, I have filed 3 lawsuits against AT&T as they have clearly violated several provisions of the Magna Carta and other provisions of English common law that I use to explain away all the dumb stuff you guys try to do every session. I do regret to inform you that all of this has been recorded, but don't worry, we'll consider selling the production rights so we can get more of that sweet, sweet parking right by the building. Do you want to say any more, Assemblymember Flanagan?
I honestly expected more out of my colleagues to know that they were sitting next to a former Las Vegas Review-Journal journalist. I've gotten so much gold these last couple hours that I think I'm going to go back to my reporting roots now, now that I can get back online again. Does anyone around here know how to use TikTok?
And here are some more news briefs from the Capitol.
To help Governor Joe Lombardo's education bill across the finish line, Assemblymember Burt Gurr has proposed an amendment to require constantly underperforming rural schools to be turned into mines. Touting what he called charter mines, Gurr called his amendment the final form of school choice, choosing not to have school at all.
The single and ready to mingle for 120 days crowd in Carson City has reported finding an unusual profile on Hinge, Senator Lisa Krasner. With a photo of her smiling awkwardly in front of an oversized American flag, sources said Krasner didn't appear to understand that you can't hire a new attaché through the dating app. And that saying you were interested in men and women wasn't exactly about neutrality in hiring practices. Still, the self-described fun, flirty 50-something told reporters she was never going back to Craigslist personals.
A small melee broke out in the Senate Natural Resources Committee when Senator Ira Hansen argued with Chair Senator Shelley Cruz Crawford over the gutting of a bill to ban dog and cat sales in pet stores. He says, quote, "I've trapped, killed, and stuffed more animals than all the puppy mills put together." But damn, that study amendment was cold.
Governor Joe Lombardo defended signing AB 530, the fuel tax indexing bill, despite vetoing the exact same measure 2 years ago, by saying that at the end of last session, he wasn't yet fully in the pocket of big traffic cone. And he added, going into an election year is no time to give people a reason to go to the polls.
Governor Joe Lombardo has taken to calling Assembly member from District 42, Tracy May Brown, instead of Tracy Brown May. When asked about it, he responded that it may not be the right way to say her name, but it was certainly the Nevada way.
In a test of the legislature's ethics rules, Democrats have reportedly promised Assemblymember Lisa Cole her own personal ballot drop box if she were to vote to override Governor Lombardo's veto on AB 306. Cole was the only Republican to support the proposal to increase ballot drop boxes and is said to be playing hardball with Democrats, requesting a $20 million appropriation to open a water park at her beloved Apex Industrial Park.
Senator Marilyn Dondero Loop unveiled her medical aid and dying hotline Tuesday, telling lawmakers with bills stuck in finance that they can end the pain quickly with just a call. She says, our budget is tighter than ever this year. So if you think your cutesy little appropriation for the little sisters of the poor is going to make it to sine die, well, think again. We've got to save every penny and scour every couch cushion for the real reason we're here, the reason most of us get up in the morning, giving tax breaks to movie studios and underperforming baseball teams.
The first ever Amber Alert in the history of the legislature was just sent out in an attempt to locate the bill that Assemblymember Jovan Jackson neglected to bring to his own bill hearing. There is no listed reward other than saving Jackson from the wrath of Senator Melanie Scheibel that has been building ever since the death of her water bottle bill. If the bill is somehow found, that anger will return to its usual target of Assemblymember Brittany Miller.
Now, for the latest out of the Senate, Senator Fabian Dignate has passed a statewide ban on Taco Tuesday until ICE stops deportations. Taco Bell stocks have plummeted nationwide. A late amendment to the bill would allow street vendors to continue to sell tacos as long as they are 1,500 feet away from a casino, can continuously hop on one foot, and recite the Pledge of Allegiance backwards.
And now, taking a break from Carson City, a gang of lawmakers take an educational trip out to scenic Fallon.
Hello, colleagues. Senator Robin Titus here in my beautiful Senate District 17. We're convening the joint committees here for an educational visit to the Frey Ranch Distillery. My hope is that you will all just become just tipsy enough to vote that pecan punch bill out of ways, and also to support the other bills that, we have it so the committee's educational endeavors aren't reportable on campaign finances. But first, we want to get a sense of where you all are standing on getting the pecan punch the respect it deserves. Toby?
Yes, Senator Titus, I've been really digging into God's word on this one. I know Ephesians 5:18 says, do not get drunk on wine and instead be filled with the Spirit. But I'm also grappling with the fact that the good Lord's first miracle was turning water to wine. And Proverbs tells us that to give strong drink to him who is ready to perish, which describes a lot of the Republicans in this building. So you're going to have to put me maybe in the maybe column until I spend a little bit more time in prayer.
That's fine. Hanadi?
The Quran is a bit more absolute on this, and as the first Muslim American woman in the legislature, I really need to be setting an example for the many, many Muslims who are going to be following in my footsteps. I'm going to have to be a no on this. Am I right, Mr. Koenig?
Inshallah.
Okay, how about another Greg? Greg Hafen. Woo!
This is some good stuff. My whole adult life, I've just been indulging in what the Pahrump wineries have been churning out. And when I found out that they'd just been pouring Franzia into the bottles, it hit me. Booze is so amazing when it's not coming out of a box. Count me in.
Knew I could count on you. How about Linda Hunt?
Senator, I'm all about serving my community and doing what's right by the people. And what I've learned in my years of serving at the El Cortez is that sometimes the right thing is a $2 house margarita at happy hour. People need a little joy in their life, particularly if life unfortunately landed them on Fremont Street.
Sounds like I've got a yes. Thanks, Assembly Person. Cynthia Moore. Cynthia Moore. Anyone seen Cynthia? She should be here. Let me look at my calendar. Oh, of course, it's Dolores Huerta Day. Of course she's not taking calls this month. Next up, Venice. Venice Karras? Oh, yeah. I saw her on the roof of the building this morning. They called her up there to rewire all the electrical. So much for LCB saying they're making some minor technical adjustments on the building during session. Okay, Natha.
Hi. I just wanted to express my disappointment that we're even here discussing creating a state drink. The Senate just killed AJR 1, which was our last hope for moving the ball on our arcane property tax system and getting some serious new revenue into our K-12 education system. We're completely unserious about passing the plan. We're totally content with being the last in the nation if we get our trivial, symbolic bills passed. What's wrong with us?
Well, Nath, I guess now is not the time to ask you for your vote on my resolution urging the Postmaster General to create a stamp honoring Snowshoe Thompson. Anyway, wait a second. Who just pulled up in an unmarked vehicle with sirens on top? Is that you, Assemblyman Hibbets?
Yes, it's me. I know I'm retired from the force, but I just had to do a citizen's arrest when I noticed a car with the state assembly plates going the wrong way on the Free 95. Can't believe you guys decriminalized this stuff back in 2021. And he said he was coming back from his educational committee meeting.
Assembly member Warrant Liquor? David, I'm truly disappointed that someone of your stature would do something so reckless. I mean, you're the one who wants to criminalize vapes that aren't approved by the federal government. You're the one who wore an N95 for at least 2 more sessions than all the rest of us did. You're giving a black eye to the medical profession.
Can't argue with you, Dr. Titus. I may be a doctor, but you forgot. I'm also a lawyer.
Well, I'm glad you're here because a bunch of our colleagues didn't even bother to show up. I'm not seeing Assembly members Considine, Flanagan, Gonzalez, LaRue Hatch, Marzola, Miller, Monroe Marino, and Mosca. Well, wait, aren't those the same people that skipped out on a certain anti-Semite vote last week? Well, they're nothing if not consistent. I think it's beyond due for them to be forced to be members of the AWOL caucus. Senator Cruz Crawford, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I mean, I think everyone ought to go home now. As principal, it's my job to be a stickler on bedtimes. So, chop chop.
And now it's time for everyone's favorite part, the slideshow. that has been Third House. How about a round of applause for the press corps? Thank you all so much. Have a good rest of your night.
Ways and Means Committee members, we'll start at 6:45.
How about you, Carlos?
I know. Of course she did. All right, I'll see